kind
I
of
think the
stuff.
website is like the glue. It's the foundation for you to expand your business in multiple different platforms.
I think that most people that own businesses are actually not good business owners.
Identify your weaknesses, and if you're trying to scale to this next level, this is the stuff you need to learn. This is the stuff that you should probably invest in.
Welcome back to the Journey Podcast. I'm your co-host, Emma Jackson.
And I'm Jose.
And today I have a question for you, Jose.
Talk to me, Mr. Jackson.
Do you think that it's a good idea for a new business to invest in a website as like one of the first things they do?
100%. You know why?
Really?
Yes, here's why. Right off the bat, you only have one chance to impress somebody. Having a website, one, people can understand what you stand for, your core values, your mission statements, your products you're selling, the environment that you're providing, let's say your service based or product based, you know what I'm saying? Everything, the best way you can represent yourself is by owning your own little slot of online real estate.
That's wonderful. That's a great ideal. But when you're in the early stages and you don't have much money...
We all been in the early stages.
No, I know. But what I'm saying is when you don't have much money and you're looking at, okay, do I invest in staff members? Do I invest... In a perfect world, you'd be able to do it all, right? But a lot of times, you're strapped. You got to make decisions. Is this a decision? We're talking like a $5,000 or $10,000. Like you get quoted and you're like, dang.
Yes.
And, that's coming from us who we, charge.
Yes, 100%. Not because I'm trying to sell websites, because the fact is true. When I started a business, when anybody starts a business, the first thing you put is a business plan. In that business plan, there's like operational costs that you foresee for the next year, 2 years of your operational business. Put it in your business plan. I'm going to spend $10,000 on a website because here's the value I'm going to get from the website.
But what if I get it for e-commerce, right? You're selling something online,
even service
whatever.
based.
But if you're a service-based, if you're a plumber, right? If you're a barber, having a barber shop, right?
The barbershop had a $5,000+ website.
And was that the very best thing that you could have done in the beginning of your business? Because word of mouth, that word of mouth is the real, that is what gets you in the door. You could have the best website.
Let's get facts out here. Okay. I got the website built up in the second month. I think it took 2 months to 2 or 3 months to build the website, and it came with a commercial. Okay. So give me some seconds. Let's put some numbers so you can see the difference, and let's get some facts out here.
And while he's looking up his facts, this is such an important conversation because, there are people out there that have been overpaying for websites like crazy. We have clients that have come to us that have spent $20,000 on a website that I would never have paid a dime for in the first place. And what makes me sad is to see if that money had been reinvested in another part of their business, they could have grown so much more. Now they're at the stage where they absolutely need a website, but they have the budget to get it done professionally. So it's like, at the end of the day, putting up something, yes, you can go and you can find Squarespace or you can find a website builder and potentially build it yourself. But if you're going to build it yourself and you're not going to invest money into it, what happens if it looks like crap? Are people going to take you more seriously then? If you have a website online, but it just, even if you pay somebody or you do it yourself, but man, it just doesn't look good because we get people in here all the time.
Okay, I'm with you. I'm with you 100%. And the crazy thing is, I'm not looking at the case, so check this out. That we opened for business in March 2028 at Classica's Barbershop in Ross Racer, Indiana. If you guys in Valpo need a haircut, check us out. But we opened for business in March of 2018, right? Sales, 19 haircuts, $249.18, right? No website. Based off Mikey's reputation, because Mikey is one of the dopest barbers in Valpo, worked at All Stars, killed the game for many years, came through. Plus, we brought another person that is well established with the industry. His name was Dex back in the day. Boom. 2 guys with massive reputation, massive social media followings that they have like a reputation in that community. And plus, they went to barbers conferences and shows like that, right? Boom. Fast forward 3 months, right? 3 months. We're at $752.38 with 55 haircuts. Granted, it's not a lot of money when you think about a month's sales, but the growth is there.
The growth is there, but how are you sure that it came from just the website and not 3 months of hard work?
Because we combine the website with a social media kind of campaign.
So you're saying that a website standalone may or may not have the best effect, but when you weave it in with social media platforms and all that
I
kind of
think the
stuff.
website is like the glue. It's the foundation for you to expand your business in multiple different platforms, right? For example, if I have a following in Facebook and Instagram, if I have a following in an email campaign or whatever, you have an email list, whatever, and then you have your physical store mortar brick location and you're trying to connect all the pieces, the best place to have it, like the hub, is your website, where you can direct people to book on from your Facebook to book on your website. Then I can track how many bookings are coming through my website. Same thing is with my email list. I can track how many emails are being opened and how many people are booking, redirecting the links. Like the website, without a website, like how you're actually gonna figure out if your business is actually succeeding? Are you converting clients?
Well, so funny you say that. So there's actually a great free tool on Google. You can create your own Google My Business and tie it into Google Analytics.
Say less.
And you can see, you can add photos, you can even add posts, you can add your hours of operation. I think you can even go in and add like a scheduler.
That is 100% correct. But you know what? That also links up with your website.
Okay.
And then you get those tools on your website. And if you're savvy enough, the barbershop's website, it's on Squarespace. It's been on Squarespace since the person that originally built it, and I have no need to change it out of Squarespace. You know what I'm
Is
saying?
that something, that's the other thing, is that something that someone who has no tech experience can use? Because that's
So
like, what do you do if you're a small business owner and you know you need a website, but you don't have the money to hire a whole tech team to maintain your website 24/7?
I had that conversation. So back in the day, I didn't know how to do a WordPress, right? I didn't know, and they gave me options. They're like, "Hey, do you want me to put your site on WordPress? Do you want me to put your site on Wix or Squarespace or this person?" And they gave me all the pros and cons. They said, if you go to WordPress, it's gonna be so much more customizable. You can do X, Y, and Z. We can track this data.
But it is so complicated to
Exactly.
use.
And I was like, bro, I'm a barbershop. Like, I don't need to know X, Y, and Z. I just need a nice shop that people can book online.
Have some nice photos, some
Exactly.
basic content.
We couldn't go Wix because Wix didn't have like the bandwidth. I think he was telling me about
Maybe
it.
the booking capability at the time
No, it
too.
was not about the booking. It was more about like the video and photo because I wanted the commercials they do to be on the homepage. So we had
Yeah.
to go with Squarespace because they had a bigger bandwidth back in the day to host the media. You kind of feel me? So
Gotcha.
the cool thing is working with a partner is that they can identify what platform is right for you when it comes to where to build the site, how affordable they can make that, right? Because a Squarespace site versus a WordPress site, there's two different levels of labor in that involved in that. And then and the last point is they can make it as dummy proof as possible for you. So for me, not being a super techie, you know what I'm saying? It was very user friendly for me to check the appointments, to upload pictures, to hire them if I wanted them to redesign a new page for me. You know what I'm saying? Or they had a really good template I can do, which I tried to do one time, and I was like, no, scratch that. I'm going to hire them, right? Because they really affected the way they looked in my brand. And I want to make sure that my brand, my message I was bringing to the community was 100% representative of what we were actually were, which is an old school feel barbershop with modern new tastes and styles.
Listen, at the end of the day,
I'm passionate about this.
I can tell. I can see where you're coming from, and I think that at some point in a business's journey, having a website is completely essential. But if you're starting out and you're strapped for cash, the most important thing is to evaluate your returns on investment, right? And you have to see, because
I do see that
think
point.
you honestly just have to take a look and say, what else is this money going to go to? Now, if you're just thinking, does it stay in my pocket? Or do I pay for a website? That's a totally different conversation because you need to be investing in your
I
business.
agree with you.
But if you are looking at, should I buy this roasting machine? It's going to increase my coffee operation by X. Or should I do a website? Maybe the roasting comes first, the website comes second.
Here's
right?
where I disagree with you on that. I agree with you on like 95% of things, but that last part I disagree. Here's why, right? When we're creating the business plan, when you're creating the concept of the business and the product that's going to be monetized, right? And you're going to make revenue from that. You diversify that revenue as much as that stream. Like, hey, this product, I'm going to see how many ways I can make money off this one individual product, right? In that stages, I have to account for, or we should account for, that business owner should account for all the possible ways to expose the community to your product and the best platform to do it at the lowest cost possible. So for right now, you're thinking about how I mocked it to a product already that you don't have proper exposure for, that coffee grinder. And the reality is, you need to get the exposure before you get the graphic end, because then you become like me. When I opened Music with Jose, I wanted to build a studio. I bought all these cool microphones, but I had no artists to record with those cool microphones. I'm investing in so much gear and not the actual money. Well, let's open a business smart. Let's open a business with financial principles at the core. Financial principle means I have to sell a product before I actually buy the materials, or the demand needs to be there for the business to open. So you need a website to make sure that, oh, I'm getting passionate right now. You need a website to literally help navigate and kind of promote you and track and make sure that demand is there, so you can make a viable business.
Okay,
Bring it
great.
down.
I'm gonna give you claps and props to that because honestly, love the passion. And
I'm
I
sorry.
have an important hot take related to this.
Talk to me.
Now, I think people might come for me on this, but I'm putting it out there. I think that most people that own businesses are actually not good business owners. Okay? Hear me out.
Oof.
I think
Oof.
that if you
Emma,
are
you
a
sure about this?
doctor that owns a practice, you're probably a phenomenal doctor, but are you a great business owner? If you are a barber that owns a killer barbershop, are you a great barber, but are you also a great business? But because you know the stuff you were telling me, you went through that amazing rant about blah, 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 and having a business plan and thinking smart and da, da, da. And so many people in real life, we fall into our businesses. We didn't plan it. We didn't go to business school. We didn't, do all of this stuff, right? So how does a regular Joe Schmo, someone who's just like making it work, how do you think smart? And how do you do that?
You're 100% correct. Here's where I say that. There's a difference between being a business. There's a difference between an entrepreneur and an owner operating business. Means if I'm a barber and I work inside my business at the barbershop, then technically I'm an employee of myself. I created my own little box. So
That's what I did.
Here's what I would say.
So how do you think smart?
Man, let's be real.
Because you didn't go to business school, right?
I did not.
I didn't either. And yet here we are.
Here's what I say about this. Surround yourself with the right team that can pull you from that when you see weakness. That means that business lawyer, aka my friend at my lawyer, that accountant, you know what I'm saying? That's that CPA group that can say, hey, look at the profit margin. What would be more beneficial? You hiring another employee to take your spot, and then you manage from the top to make sure that the productivity is growing at a 2-3 time fold, or staying there capping yourself because now you only have to deal with the day-to-day operations of the business, and then you also have to think about expansion. You kind of feel me?
Yeah. Well, because I don't know if you've seen the meme going around the internet that's like, oh, yeah, I finally decided to work for myself, and now I work all the time.
Yes.
Because it's the joke that, okay, finally, I'm a small business owner, I'm an entrepreneur, yay, I'm doing my thing, I have control of my time, but wait, the work actually controls me.
Exactly. I think the goal for me, this is me personally, I think for me the goal was, I'm cool being a small business owner, right? Define small.
I mean, that's a good point because technically, when I found this out, according to the U.S. government, I mean, small is like 10 million and under.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, I'm like real small.
Exactly. That's my point. Small is a measure of unit that you determine yourself.
Yeah.
For me, small was, okay, until I make my first million, I'm a small business, right? So I was like, cool. But I'm going to operate like a small business technically, but not really think about small business because my goal is to hit that million. My goal is to hit that 5 million.
And you can operate as a small business that's making a ton of money or that has a lot of time freedom or whatever's most important to you.
Facts. But you, at that point, when you're thinking that mentality, when you think about a business that have like $10 million, $20 million revenue a year, what do they usually have? They have an advisory team. They have a support staff. They have infrastructure.
They're not one person trying to do everything.
So as a small business, I identify I'm not a barber. I need to hire a smart manager to manage my barbershop. Then I need to focus on the advertising and marketing to promote the barbershop.
I mean,
for the first couple of years, did anybody know I owned the barbershop? Absolutely not. They knew Mikey's face was everywhere on a billboard, on flyers, on brand collaborations we did. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's like you and me. I'm a creative through and through. I don't have, at the time I took over the business, I was 22. I had no idea what I was doing. And meeting you, I was like, yeah, Jose did not want to be the CEO, actually.
No.
But it was so clear to me that you had the operational skills. You knew what it took to take this business to the next level. And I just knew how to make things pretty and talk to people.
But that, bro, you just hit it again. If like, think about it like this: the last couple years of our lives, what have we done for both of us? We have self-educated ourselves. We have surrounded people. Myra, right, our business coach, has educated us. And it's like, hey, you need to first identify your weaknesses, and if you're trying to scale to this next level, this is the stuff you need to learn. This is the stuff that you should probably invest in. So you just hit in the money. The business owner needs to be self-aware enough of them weaknesses and where their goals is to be. Now, if you're no shots fired, if you want to be a barber owner, like for example, a barber that owns and operates his own barbershop, and you're happy and content with 20 chairs, 10 chairs,
I
and
think the key is how do you still work smart? You can be content with whatever your goals are, but maybe that just means spending more time with your family. Maybe that means taking home a bigger paycheck. Maybe that, like, your dreams and goals, I think you're saying, can be achieved when you just think a little smarter. Plan it out and really, really look at it as a business and
I
not
had a
just as
I had a great
what you
conversation
do.
last night with my friend, and we were talking about more like uh our journey with God and how close are we with Jesus, and not trying to get too religious in this podcast,
No,
but
be honest.
it's crazy that sometimes like God took me to a journey of like humbling myself, right? And basically it's like any time that I thought I was on top, I was killing the game, financial hardship hit me hard. And I had to realize like, hey, this is the struggles. I'm like, yo, why I'm going through this? And the reality is that through that trial and tribulations over the last 10 years of my life, right? Out of the last 10 years of my life, the last couple years have been successful. Prior to that was failures on the shiny from my family, was learning that grind. And here's where I'm kind of going with the story is that a guy had to put me through that process of failure and learning the hard way because I'm so hard headed, Emma, that I don't take advice sometimes. But he had to mold me and put me in a spot for me to see and to grow in today's what we're doing now. And here's what I'm trying to say: maybe it's okay for a small business owner to be happy coming to their location every single day, opening the door, servicing the customer, making the bread, cutting the hair, whatever. And their journey isn't our journey where it's 10 years of failure or 7 years of failure to get 3 years of prosperity, because we have to go through those hurdles to prepare ourselves, to equip ourselves for the next chapter that's going to be phenomenal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. I think it's perfectly fine for a small business owner to be content in their place if that's what they want. Because I tell you right now that this journey that we're on, bro, 90% of the people that think they want it, they probably don't understand how hard it is. And that's go
Yeah.
back to the basics of websites. I think at the end of the day, once you create that business plan, you're already foreseeing the future that you want. Towards the course of your business plan, the first couple years, right? You're gonna make modifications, and maybe at that point you're like, "Yo, this is not for me. I'm gonna say local. I'm gonna say small. I'm gonna do a website." Or I'm like, "No, I need to achieve the next goal. Boom. Let's invest in that 10,000. Let's invest in the 20,000 because you're not investing in the return of the website. You're investing in your vision."
Well, that's really hard to follow. I will fine. I will fair point. I will compromise with you. I think that when you're just starting out, yes, it is. You have to make choices and you have to make hard choices. But if you can think of your website as an investment and that there are different levels, you can have a really great one page website. A landing page is what we like to call it. And
Exactly.
you can have it look super professional. It can be everything that you might need, right? And then maybe you start there, you scale your way up, right? It all depends on your business and your priorities. But I think what we're saying is have that conversation. Don't just dismiss it or don't just say, okay, I'm in the game. I need to spend $20,000 on a website. Be really critical. Figure out what information is most important that you share. Figure out what is going to get people to your door. Aside from that person that's like, "Oh yeah, I'm coming here cuz my friend told me about it." Most people, they hear about it, but they need a little bit of convincing. So what can you do to convince them, right?
Exactly. If you guys like the base like this, where I get super passionate for absolutely no reason.
You should drop down anything you want us to debate about down in the comments below, and we'll see if there's anything worth talking about.
Funny thing is, we didn't go into this thinking it was gonna be like a full debate, and I don't know what happened to me. I apologize, but I think it was a great
I
conversation.
like it. Well, at the end of the day, these are conversations that you have to have as a business owner that we don't think are talked about enough. So if you like this content, follow, subscribe, share with your friends and family, and yeah, check out the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.